What's good, guys? I'm sorry I haven't made a YouTube video in a while. It's just been a minute, but what's up? This is Joseph Ebard, and if you don't already know me, welcome to my channel. Wow. So, it's been a minute. I know I've been working on The Girl with Infinite Powers 7, and I've been doing a lot of shooting for that movie. I've also been very excited to work on a new movie coming up, which just happens to be Chagers. That movie is going to be released in a couple months from now. It's a great YouTube movie. But also, if you have not already done it, please make sure to like and subscribe to all of my videos. And hit the notification bell so you get all of my videos, of course. So, today we are talking about a book that isn't really talked about a lot on BookTube, but it's still around, at least in my opinion. It happens to be Pendragon, the Lost City of Far. And this is the second book in the Pendragon series. It is about a 14-year-old boy named Bobby Pendragon who is a time traveler and goes from different territories to stop a guy named Saint Dane. Now, in this particular book, he's with his Uncle Press again. He just got back from Pendragon, and he has to go back to this city called Chloral and find this city, which is called Far. So not much has happened so far in the book, because I'm only on the second chapter. I'm on page 18. I think I started reading this about 2 days ago. I've actually, I've never read this book before. I've always wanted to. I love this series. I've seen it before in, like, when I was in middle school or high school. I saw a lot of the Pendragon books around. So I recently went to McKay's bookstore and got me some more Pendragon books. So we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of reading. I'm going to start from the top of page 18. And for the next couple of weeks, we are just going to try to read as much as we can of these books. Alright. Well, yeah, she answered. Until a few months ago, the biggest thing I had to worry about was passing algebra. Going from that to sweating over the future of all space and time is kind of a leap for me. Mark nodded. A problem this huge was kind of hard to get your mind around. Okay, he said while continuing to pace. It's hard for me to understand too, but there's more. Uncle Press told Bobby that all the territories were about to reach a turning point. It was the job of the travelers to help them get through the crisis so they could continue to exist in peace. If they failed, the territories would go into chaos, and that's when Saint Dane would step in. Okay, so, Courtney said impatiently. She wanted to know where this was going. So think about it, Mark said, getting worked up. Bobby and Press went to Pendragon because their territory was on the verge of civil war. We just read that Press told Laura she had to go back to her home territory of Zada because they would need her there soon. Courtney listened carefully. Mark was leading to a point, and she wanted to make sure she fully understood what it was. Saint Dane went to Chloral, he continued. Bobby and Press followed him there. Chloral must be reaching its critical time, too. I get all this, but why are you so scared? Courtney asked. Thanks, she said quickly. We're reading these journals like they're stories happening far away from our safe little town. Sure, Bobby is right in the middle of things, but nothing is touching us. Not here. Not in the safe suburbs. Courtney was starting to catch on. You're saying something big might happen here too? Asked Courtney soberly. Exactly, shouted Mark. We're a territory too, second Earth. We're not immune. We're part of Hala, or whatever it's called. Courtney turned away from Mark to let this sink in. If all the territories were about to reach a turning point, that had to include their own territory as well. This was definitely bad news. I'll tell you something else, Mark said. We've been trying to figure out why Bobby is a traveler. I have no idea why, but I'll bet I know when. Excuse me. Huh? Said Courtney. When what? It seems like travelers only go where they are needed when they're needed. Reasoned Mark. I'll bet the time has come for second Earth to need a traveler, and that's why we have one now, Bobby. Courtney didn't answer another question. She didn't need to. What Mark said made all sorts of sense. Up until now, everything that Bobby had written was true. He wrote that Uncle Press warned him that all the territories were nearing a critical time. All the territories. That included this one, second Earth, home. You want to hear more? Not really, answered Courtney nervously. I think we're part of it, you and I, she said. Bobby is sending up his journals. Besides him, we're the only ones here who know what's going on. You think we're being protected for a battle on second Earth? Courtney asked softly, as if she could hardly get the words out. I think that's exactly what's happening, answered Mark. Suddenly, Courtney was just as scared as Mark. He had finally made his point, but she wished that she had him. So what did we do? Mark took off his pack and sat down next to her. That part I haven't figured out, he answered. He dug inside the pack and pulled out Bobby's journal. Unlike the first journal that was written on crude yellow parchment paper, these pages were light green and supple. Each page was roughly the size of a standard printer paper, but the edges weren't square. The pages were oddly shaped as if they had been handmade. The green pages were a light, thin rubber. The writing looked pretty much the same as other journals, though. The words were written in black ink, and the handwriting was definitely Bobby's. Until we get more of an idea of what to expect, continued Mark, all we can do is read Bobby's journals and learn as much as we can when the time comes. We're ready. Courtney stared into Mark's eyes. His last comments sounded ominous. There wasn't a game happening to someone else. This was real. Common sense told them that somehow, they were going to get sucked into this nightmare. Courtney was beginning to hate common sense. The question was, when would it happen? Those questions could only be answered by words in Bobby's journal. So without any more conversation, Mark and Courtney looked down at the strange green papers and continued to read. Journal number 5. Continue. Plural. The flume. It was my 5th time flying through this magical tunnel into the unknown, but I still wasn't used to it. Heck, I could travel like this 1,000 times and I wouldn't get used to it. As I told you guys before, it's kind of like sailing down a huge water slide. But it's not as violent as a water park ride. It's really more like floating on a cushion of warm air. The tunnel walls that were surrounding me looked like a transparent crystal. But I knew this only happened when the flume was activated. Why does it do this? Haven't got a clue. Beyond the walls, I saw stars. Alright, that's all the time I have today. That's all the time I have in today's video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Make sure you subscribe. This has been Pendragon Book 2, Lost Studio 4. Thank you.